Hi everyone, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I'm here for your May 2016 monthly tarot reading. Wow, May already. It's April when I'm filming this, and we've just had like 3-4 days of cold and snow in Vermont. We had like no snow all winter, and now we're getting snow. That's Vermont for you, but I can feel spring in the air. So I decided to go with that sort of earthy theme of things growing, and at least in the northern hemisphere. And I chose 3 of my very earthy pagan-y decks. So I'm using the Greenwich Tarot, the Wildwood Tarot, and the Druidcraft Tarot. Sorry, I kind of don't like shuffling on camera because I feel like it's just sort of a waste of time, but I know people like it, so you can always just forward ahead. I'm not sure why it matters if I shuffle on camera or not, but okay, last row with the Druidcraft. So I think this is a great time of year. I almost think this is a better time of year than New Year's to really think about what we want to manifest this year, especially if you live in the Northern Hemisphere and you're coming into spring. It's like, what do you want to grow this year? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to really change this year? And start working towards that. So there's some decisions coming up this month. Oh, okay. Lots of it's kind of a mixed bag. Let me take a second here. I'll show you what cards are on the table. So we have the 5 of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the 4 of Swords, and then the 8 of Swords, 2 of Wands, and the Empress, 7 of Cups, Prince of Cups, Strength, and then under the deck we have the 2 of Swords. I think I'm just going to keep the card and get rid of the rest of the deck. 2 of Swords, King of Swords. I love these birds. We have one, my parents have a camp on a lake here, and he's always flying around, and he kind of is very loud, and you always know when he's out fishing. And the 6 of Wands, the Victory card. So the bottom of the deck is sort of, you can look at that in a few different ways. It's sort of energies that are underlying, like in your subconscious, themes that are underlying sort of the energies that are going on this month, or things you want to sort of bring to the surface. So we do have a meeting of the minds here, some sort of decision making, a decision that needs to be made. And right in the center of the spread is this 2 of Wands, which is actually in this deck called the Decision card. And most of the 2s, well, at least the 2 of Swords and the 2 of Fire, are definitely decision cards. But I would call actually the 2 of Swords a little bit, well, they're different kinds of decisions. And this decision sometimes, especially with this King of Swords, boy, I think this came up in the weekly reading I just did. this King of Swords they're very intellectual, and it can almost be like analysis paralysis. Um, overthinking this decision to the point of just not even being able to really see your way clear. But there is the victory card here. So um, you the decision making process that's going on will I think we're going to handle it in such a way that it will be successful and even potentially bring some accolades. This is a homecoming. Um, so I think someone, either us or someone in our um, circle, is going to potentially be making a thoughtful decision that allows for sort of a new beginning. I know this is the victory card, but I'm stuck on the homecoming. And it's interesting, he has this, what kind of bird is that? It looks like maybe a falcon of some kind. Hmm. So it's a wise decision. These birds of prey, they can see very, very, they fly high and get a very big perspective, a very high perspective of things, but then they can single down on tiny, tiny details and focus in on them and see very, very clearly. Um, so I do think some sort of clarity is going to be reached throughout this month. So we're coming in, and we do have the energy of the Five of Cups. So there's some regret, some loss, some disappointment that we're sort of still licking our wounds as we come into May. And it's like she's pouring those cups out. It's almost like the emotions have spoiled. You know what I mean? Like if that was some sort of liquid that got left out, and she's pouring it out because it's gone bad. So something's gone bad emotionally, and we're dumping it. We're getting rid of it. But that doesn't mean we still don't have some residual um, effects from that situation. And the Eight of Swords shows that we are feeling a little trapped in our minds. We're having trouble. There's maybe a little bit of denial, or we're just having trouble finding our way through. But, I look at this as the Hermit's lamp. So look to she's sort of clinging to this lamp during this time of fear. I would say she looks a little fearful. So keeping up whatever type of spiritual practice you have, whether that's actual like meditation or a religion or something like running, gardening, well, whatever your thing is, I would say to make sure you use it this month. If you find yourselves in times of struggle where you're feeling a little fearful, sort of go within and ground yourself. Grounding is a very important theme. I think that's why I gravitated towards these pagan earthy decks. So here's another card of indecision. We have, we're daydreaming about a lot of different options, and it's, this is the thing with decisions, and this must be on my mind a lot because this seems to keep coming up, is that, you know, there are a lot of decisions we have to make where we have no guarantee or there really is no way of knowing how it's going to turn out. I mean, relationships are a perfect example. Jobs are a perfect example. Unless you are just sliding into a new role right in the same office you've been in or something, you really don't know the dynamic or the atmosphere or the job until you're actually doing it, and until you're there for a while, until after the honeymoon period ends. Um, you just don't know until you're in it. You don't know in a relationship until you spend time. That's why older people, I mean, I'm 45, but older people that have been there, done that, just cringe when we see these young people just diving into marriages and relationships and having kids, because it's like, oh God, you've only known them 5 months. What are you doing? You don't truly know someone, because everyone, is sort of a fake version, best version of themselves for a while until they really become comfortable. And then you start to see people's true colors, and they're not always bad, but they might not be compatible. I mean, there are plenty of relationships where there are two good people, but just those two good people together just aren't a match for whatever reason. It doesn't mean either person is bad. So sometimes it does involve sort of a blind, no, it's not a blind, because just an educated choice. I mean, your best educated guess, because you're just not going to know. So don't ignore red flags, but don't become analysis paralysis where you don't make a decision. So then we come upon this guy. So I feel like if you have so this is that grounded energy, he's like the Mac Daddy grounded energy here, the King of Pentacles. He's very grounded. He's very practical and methodical. He's just so practical. I mean, if you go to him, you're not going to get a philosophical answer. You're not going to get, just a sort of just a crazy, yeah, go for it. Start marketing, I don't know. Ice to Eskimos, whatever that stupid saying is. He's not going to, flatter you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to go up to. He's going to be he's just going to give you solid, sound advice. So if you have someone like this in your, that you're able to tap into this guy's wisdom, or girl, I mean, it could be a man or a woman, definitely do that this month when you're trying to make a decision, because he may have some very wise, practical advice that may help get you out of your head a little bit, where you're spinning around in circles and sort of not able to, maybe letting fear kind of worst case scenario situations play out to the point where you're afraid to make any sort of decision, and potentially because you've been hurt in the past. But so if you've been hurt in the past, you can have, this is sort of the wisdom of the hermit, is sort of your own wisdom that you gain. And, you can either live in fear of it happening again, or you can use your wisdom to just give you confidence that, well, I've been through that. That wasn't the greatest thing, but I've learned from it, and I can move forward knowing that I made it through, and, I'm still here, I'm still standing, and I can do it again. And then look at this dude. He's just like on fire. I mean, he's just like, it's like something's going to click maybe after we meet this guy, or maybe this guy, maybe for some of you, you meet an earth sign, and even maybe they'll help ground I mean, this is Sagittarius, right? Did I even say that? Help ground our fire or ignite our fire. I mean, look at this. He's like blazing. So it's kind of like this decision, something ignites our passion, and we're able to make the decision and move forward. And then we have this other change card right next to it, this Knight of Cups. So this is a change in emotion. So we're going from this Five of Cups, this Eight of Swords, this sort of fearful, regretful, trying to find it hard to see our way through type energy, to meeting this, getting more grounded. And for some reason, getting more grounded, getting away from our head and our feelings and getting more grounded ignites our passion somehow, and we have a change in emotion here. No more 5 of Cups, 7 of Cups, 8 of Swords, but now we're changing. We're changing our emotion, and maybe this is an offer of some sort that gives us more. We've made a decision, and by making that decision, and I think for this decision is sort of an internal one. Like, I'm gonna take a risk again. I'm gonna go out there again because protecting myself and just going within. I mean, these two cards are totally, all three of them are really all about living in your head and not the most secure. Um, they're very fear-based cards, and then down here at the bottom, it's beautiful because once we sort of get grounded, and somehow getting grounded, getting out of our heads and our hearts and getting grounded and getting practical and getting to the base of what really matters is going to sort of spark us to life again and get us out of this funk. And just that change in our passion, it ignites us to be open to new things. And so in this down row, and this 4 of Swords is kind of the opposite of a lot of the other swords. We're calming our head. It's meditation. Look at us just getting grounded. How grounding this sword card is. Laying out under a tree, the nice loon, just in nature, just chilling, just being, instead of our head just just calmness and being, and not trying to force things, not trying to know what's going to happen. And then we end with the Empress. I mean, this is Mother Earth nurturing ourselves, gently nurturing ourselves, not for this is, I mean, that's what she is. She doesn't force things. She nurtures. She sees where things are going. Her children, she would see, oh, this one seems to like computers, so I will support that if that's the direction they seem to go in. And this one likes art. I will, make sure that there are paintbrushes or whatever available for him if he wants to grow that. But she doesn't do what I do. Like, do you want to do art class? Do you want to do that's the fire in me. And I've worked really hard at this to step back and just allow, and not for my nurturing to become, Sagittarians. I think, they're male, their fire signs are sort of masculine energy. So we can be a little like action oriented. And this is really saying to just get in nature, allow things to grow, allow things to blossom, allow things to happen. And all we need to do is nurture it. We don't need to force it. And strength. And I think that's what our strength, we're going to need to call upon our strength to sort of curb our fiery engine, and instead of force, nurture this month. Because we do have the 6 of Wands, and that's going to bring victory. The only Wands card is this flaming card in the center. We're just something ignited our passion again, which is wonderful. But we need to just allow things to organically unfold. Yeah, nice. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Happy spring. To those over up in the Northern Hemisphere. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.